Okay, welcome to the Angel Wing LLC and Angel Wing's online self-mastery and personal quantum transformation program. We are doing our trial run right now. This is our week number 3, and we are moving here in sequence. This is the disclaimer statement that you've already seen before and already signed, so I won't be going through that again, but I just put it up here for our records. And each week you should have 2 notebooks, an envelope, a couple of writing instruments, and you do need 1 blank card per week. So every time you should have 1 new one. Total, you would need 52 altogether. So 1 per week you will need. All right, so having said that, we're going to start with a grounding meditation exercise. This is about 3 minutes long or so. We'll start with this and then we'll kind of proceed from there. All right, so here we go.
Sometimes the mind can feel like a pack of wild horses, jumping around from past to present to future, refusing to sit still. And like a pack of wild horses, trying to force the mind to be still just doesn't work. The horses are wild in nature after all. But with practice and time, we can train the mind to be aware of when it's galloping in all directions. And we can guide it back to the present moment with a kind and friendly hand. So let's see if we can practice taming the mind by taking a few mindful, deep breaths. Wherever you are now, get comfortable. Eyes can be open or closed, and perhaps relaxing the shoulders. And now, taking a deep breath, breathing in through the nose, and breathing out through the mouth. Noticing what thought or sensation the mind is chasing after. And again, just gently taking another deep breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One last time, breathing in and breathing out. Similar to the wild horses, over time, the mind can become more tame, more calm, and may even start to enjoy more moments of stillness. Remember to just keep practicing. Sometimes.
Okay, we're going to begin our week number 3 now. And thank you again for joining. We're going to do a quick review of this last week and some of the exercises just to kind of get our gears running again from where we were last time. If you remember, this principle number 2 was from last time about tolerance. And these were some of the big ideas. I'm just going to do a quick review here. If you did not write this down for any reason, you can feel free to do so right now, or you can do it later on sometime. But these are 5 points here on the principle of tolerance. I'm just going to go through it, read it very quickly. That active listening is what? Active listening to others without interrupting or judging them. This is one of the important points. Then expose ourselves to different perspectives and cultures, such as by reading books, watching documentaries, and traveling. Be aware of our own biases and prejudices and challenges, and challenge them when they arise. And practice empathy and put ourselves in other people's shoes to better understand their point of view. These are some things we looked at last time. And there was a homework assignment. Hopefully you did that you basically, try to apply one of these ideas throughout the week. And if you didn't do that, you can always go back to the recording and kind of put that in there. All right, so that was from last week. We also have 7 points as a quick review to understand the central concept. And I'm just going to go through these very quickly. You did this in the first week, whether you agree or disagree or partially agree. Just going to read these very quickly here, nice and easy. The human mind is characterized by intricate workings and endless complexities. That's number one. Number two, mind requires substantial energy to function. Number three, energy can be drained by personal conflicts, both internal and external. This is what we'll be looking at today. This is point number 3 in yellow. And then the 4 through 7 are as follows. Steps can be taken to reduce and eliminate unnecessary energy dissipation. We'll do that next week. Then during the 5th week, we will look at revitalized energy permeates every aspect of life, including the 12 dimensions. And you've already written these down in your notebook. And number 6 is unobstructed and undisturbed energy flow. And unobstructed and undisturbed energy flow creates a powerful foundation for limitless possibilities. And number 7 is energy flow, allows for realization of potential in various aspects of life. These are things we looked at before. Now, we're going to start this third concept, third point, from the third idea in the central concept. Energy can be drained by personal conflicts, both internal and external, right? So this is what we're going to be looking at today. What I'd like you to do, I'm going to just say this one time and just repeat with me the second time. Energy can be drained by personal conflicts, both internal and external. Now let's say it together. Energy can be drained by personal conflicts, both internal and external. Okay, very good. All right, so what I'd like you to do in your workbook number 1, I'd like you to take a couple of minutes and I'd like you to write down these 7 points with the blanks in between. All right, so take your time with this, and once you're done with this, just put your hand up in the Zoom chat box. There's a way to put your hand up after you're done. So don't rush through this. You don't have to write fervently or anything. Take your time. There's no rush at all. And make a nice long blank so you can put stuff in there. This is part of your homework assignment. And then I'm going to give a brief presentation on this after you're done. So make sure your handwriting is clear. Please don't rush. As you're writing, don't forget to just keep attention on your breath, nice steady breath in and out. You might notice breath sometimes constricts a bit. Just take a nice steady breath in all the way and release all the way as you're writing. There's no rush, nice and easy. Please don't forget to write the statement in yellow on top. And this is going to be your homework assignment for week number 3. One of the homework, there's 3 homework assignments. So the statement in yellow should be on top, and you should put today's date on there, and then put homework week number 3 on top of the page. So you don't need to complete the fill in the blank right now. You do that in the week sometime. Nice and easy. After you're done, then you can raise your hand. In the Zoom apps there, you have a little hand feature. You can raise that. That way I'll know that you're done. Okay, so Chetna is done. If you're having difficulty finding the hand feature, just you can send a message in the chat if you want, but it's there, and I'll have to. If you don't know where it is, it depends on which system you're using.
It says reactions. You click on that. If you go down, where it says participants, chat, share screen, it says reactions on mine. Just raise your hand, please. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But that's the procedure.
Don't worry. Just put your hand up.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, no problem. So let's continue. All right, so these 7 points, I'm going to try to explain these a little bit here so we can understand a little bit better. So the first one here is that when people experience personal conflicts, their energy can be depleted, making it difficult to focus on other tasks. Now, you have the option of using that word in the blank, but I would recommend that you just, if you want to use that word, you can, but I would recommend you use a different word in the week, find another word, but you can put that word like underneath the blank or somewhere on that, if you want to like have a reminder or something like that. So that's fine, it's up to you. But this is just an example. The point here is that personal conflicts, what do? They deplete energy, making it difficult to focus on other tasks. They're very easy to understand. Right now, we're just trying to understand the central concept. So here we go. That was the first one. Here's the second one. Okay, very easy. If you're a teenager, high school students, middle school student, you can understand this. Anybody can understand this. Internal conflicts such as self-doubt and anxiety can drain our energy and make us feel exhausted. So key point there is the feeling of exhaustion when there are internal conflicts. There's self-doubt, there's anxiety, there's blame, all kinds of things like that that happens internally that exhausts our power. That's what that one possible answer to that. Okay, and the third one, what do we have? Let's see. External conflicts like arguments with friends or family can also cause our energy levels to diminish significantly, leaving us feel drained and overwhelmed. So that's easy to understand, right? External conflicts with anybody causes energy levels to go down. Very, very simple to understand that point. All right. Next one. One way to manage energy draining personal conflicts is to practice self-reflection, which helps us understand and cope with our emotions. So how to do all this, we'll be getting into that later on. Right now, we're just laying the foundation of these concepts, of these basic principles of transformation. Self-reflection is very, very foundational to the entire Angel Wing program. Okay, so that will help us to cope with our emotions and life circumstances. Okay, now let's go to number 5. Okay, and that is resolving conflicts in a timely manner can help prevent energy from being dissipated and improve overall well-being, fostering equilibrium. Just added 2 more words to that. What is this all about? Again, the whole idea is to prevent energy from being dissipated. So we want equilibrium in life also, right? So overall well-being has equilibrium. That is what our whole goal is this year, is to establish that equilibrium. So what is the main point here? Resolving conflicts in a timely manner, not letting them linger, can help prevent energy from being dissipated. And we'll talk about that later on, how to do all that as we move along. Okay, 1 second here. Number 6. Okay. Personal conflicts can be particularly draining when they involve important dimensions such as career, relationships, and values. And this is one of our basic ideas, right? If you have a personal conflict going on, it's going to impact all of the 12 dimensions of one's life, which we have been looking at and we'll be looking at a little bit later on today. So this is another thing, just to be aware that that's what happens. Now, in the homework exercise, you can write down any word you want. And there's a lot of online resources. We'll be sending you material online to help you select the best possible language for that. And you can do it the way you want in that. We'll be sending you an email with possible answers and possible kinds of ways of looking at how to do all this. Okay, very good, very good. Now, I just want to give an opportunity. Actually, there's one more. Hold on 1 second. Number 7. One more here. By addressing both internal and external conflicts, individuals can replenish their energy levels and maintain a more balanced life. And so what is our goal? We want balance. We want balance all the way. Everybody wants balance. But the question is, how do we do it? Replenish energy. Lost energy has to be replenished. That is the basic principle. And how do we do that? By addressing conflicts head on. We don't let them linger. We don't let them fester. We don't let them increase. We deal with it in the moment if possible. That's mastery. That'll come in year number 2 and 3 and beyond. Before we get to that, we need to know how to address it. So the how of that we will talk about later. But right now, just the concept should be clear in all of our minds that we need to address internal and external conflicts if they are there. What's an internal conflict? It's a conflict within yourself, really. That you're not sure, things are getting tangled up inside. That's an internal conflict. And the external is with others, but that external becomes internal. So the external and internal are always together, right? And they break apart our internal power, energy, time, so many things. So when we address the conflicts head on, and again, in our program here, we're not doing individual counseling or therapy or anything like that. We're giving general guidelines and basic principles, but somebody might ask, how do we address it? Recognize that it's occurring and replenish, keep attention on the energy. Oh, my energy is being wasted in this conflict. I'm not going to put any energy into that. It's a decision to be made of not draining the energy. Just like you have got that envelope with the money inside there, you don't want somebody to steal it. You're not going to throw it. You're not going to burn it. You're not going to destroy it. You're going to keep it in there. You're just going to store that money every week, right? That's why we're doing that, to illustrate these ideas. Similarly, throughout the day, throughout the week, day at a time, hour at a time, one is aware that even if there are conflicts or difficulties or whatever, one is aware of the energy flow, that energy is not to be drained out. It's not to be disturbed from inside. So it has to be replenished by you addressing a conflict which may have drained some energy, bring it back again, replenish it again. And the keeping attention on energy flow is part of meditation. It's part of these exercises and awareness. It's this entire process that we have laid out. And as you do the homework assignments, do the other angel wing programs, all of this will intersect together where the replenishment occurs, replenishing energy levels and maintaining a more balanced life. All right, so these are the basic ideas. Now, having said this, remember, all 7 points are related to the statement in yellow. Energy can be drained by personal conflicts, both internal and external. That statement in yellow, just so you know, is really part of these 7 breakdown points from the central principle. Remember the central principle you wrote down in your card. Okay, so make sure we are together and understand how this is connected. That central concept is broken down into 7 parts here. And each week, for the first 7 weeks, we're going to break each one of these down and do exercises on that, so that that idea gets really, really embedded deeply inside our mind, right? So this is the third one. Energy can be drained by personal conflicts, internal, external. Remember, all 7 of these intersect with each other. They all connect with. So we'll be looking at that later on after week number 7. All right, so now having said that, now what I'd like you to do, we're going to do a little stretch break. This is just a 2-minute stretch break, and just follow the instructions.
I'm so glad you're joining us for a quick movement break. You should aim to integrate movement into your workday at least every 30 minutes of uninterrupted sitting time. Doing so can reduce your risk of weight gain, high blood pressure, and obesity. Let's get started. Begin by standing. Root both feet into the ground. Take a great big inhale and reach both hands high above your head. On your exhale, goalpost the arms and lift the chest, finding a baby back bend. Back bends can quickly boost your energy levels and help to refocus your mind when dealing with stress. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lift the chest and goalpost the arms. Place your hands down by your side. Now bring your right knee up to your chest. Try to balance here as long as you can. Feel the stretch in the back of your leg and lower back. Now slowly bring your foot back behind you and pull it towards your glutes, stretching through the front of your hips. You may want to hold on to something in order to help keep your balance. Let's switch to the other side. Bring your left knee up to your chest. Try to balance here as long as you can. Feel the stretch in the back of your leg and lower back. Now slowly bring your foot back behind you, pull it towards your glutes, stretching through the front of your hips. Bring both feet back together. Next, bend your arms by your side and begin to twist right and left, opening up into your sides and spine. You can leave your arms bent or straighten them out depending on the space you have available. Twisting the spine back and forth can help relieve any tension in the lower back from sitting. Lastly, place your feet about hips distance. Then place your hands onto your hips. Take an inhale and lift the chest up, and exhale, slowly beginning to lower the chest down. As you begin to fold forward, bend the knees to begin lengthening through the hamstrings until your chest touches the tops of your thighs. You can dangle your arms down towards the floor or grab onto your elbows. Stay here to continue lengthening through the spine, or you can sway side to side. Bring the hands back to your hips And on your next inhale, slowly begin to rise up. Head comes up last. Great work on integrating this quick physical activity break into your busy day. Setting a reminder on your phone or computer can help you remember to fit in regular breaks. Breaks don't have to take up too much of your time and can be effective with just a few short minutes.
Okay, very good. So please have a seat back again. Just relax. Thank you for engaging in that brief exercise. This 2-minute exercise you can do anytime. You know, if you're doing work on the computer, sitting around a lot, just get up every half an hour to do the 2-minute stretch. It's a simple one to do, and we'll be giving many more variations of this as we move along. All right, very good. Now what I'd like you to do is to open your workbook to the second workbook in the 12-dimension assessment. If you remember from last time, we started looking at these, that each human being has 12 dimensions. So do you, so do I. And you've written these down. You've written at least the blue points down last time. And if you remember, just as a quick review, that they are all interconnected. All of these are interconnected. You know that our career, finances, physical health, mental health, family, social life, personal development, environment, recreation, all of this in contribution to society, volunteerism, all these things are all interconnected together, and they require energy, which is what we have. We have energy. We don't have energy, we don't have anything. We can't do anything in life, right? So we explained this diagram last time. Now, if you remember from last time, we had also looked at this rating. So I had asked you to put a rating from 1 through 10 for each of these during this past week as a homework assignment. If you remember doing that, we had gone through these last time, and how to select the number. We had talked about that also. Just as a quick review, that you would assess your status 0 to 10. 10 means that you're at the highest optimal condition, you know, and 0 would mean that you are at very like low, or almost like that thing is just not existing. It's very, very low. It's almost not there, and everything in between. So this is your perspective. It's not Angel Wing's perspective on rating you. You're rating yourself. You should be sincere, candid, and truthful. So you started this last time. Hopefully during the homework assignment, you actually did the rating. This was the homework assignment from last time, to do a 1 through 12 list, and then to put a number for each of those areas, right? So I think hopefully you did that last time. If you didn't do it this time, and that'll be good for you, but hopefully you did it. Now, this time what I'd like you to do, I want you to go back to that whole list, the number 1 through 12 list. See the blue box on the left-hand side in here? And I'm going to explain this to you. And what I'd like you to do, if you can, is to take a calculator out from your phone. You can use your phone. And I'd like you to total the numbers that you gave. So for example, if Sachin here gave a 5 to the first dimension, 4 to the second one, just a snapshot, is nothing too intricate right now. You would total this entire set of numbers, 1 through, you know, the rating that you've given. So everyone has a calculator on your phone. So if you just tally that up, you know, like for example, if somebody put 10 all the way through, the total will be 120. Okay, so I'm going to explain the blue box in just a moment. I mean the purple box. So do that right now, and after you're done with that, raise your hand. So you've already written down, hopefully as a homework assignment, numbers 1 through 12. You've given yourself a rating for each of those. You know, where you think you are on that. If you have a question, just unmute. Okay, I don't know what, is there a problem somewhere, Deviji? I don't know. I cannot hear you, you're muted. So, Devi, you're muted if you.
I have not done it, so I'll do it next time.
Okay, next time. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. If you haven't done it, do it next time. But this is how you do it. That's why we're recording this, so you can refer to it later on. No problem. But if you did,
then I can't expand it. Is there a way to expand whatever you have it on the screen?
Are you using your phone?
No, I'm using my regular bigger iPad, different iPad, new iPad.
So you should be able to see the whole slide on there. So I don't know.
That's okay. Figure it out. Don't worry. I'll figure it out.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, so the point here.
Carry on.
That's fine. The point here is that you will tally this up, and and just the way it is written here, total, and put the number there. So for example, I just gave a sample here of 64. Now you'll notice something, just understand this, that the highest possible value is 120. So 120 meaning that you've got a 10 in each area. You put the 10 is like all the way through. Everything is at the highest level. Now this blue chart here, in fact, let me try to do one thing here. Let me stop the screen share and let me try it again. That might help out a little bit here. Let's try it again. See if that pops up on your screen now. The blue chart shows a 10% reduction. What that means is that you can look at this in several ways. If you go down to this number 10 over here, and if you gave yourself a value of 42, if the total value is 42, if you keep increasing it, you will see how the new value increases on the right column there. That's all that means. Our goal is to keep increasing this steadily. That's all. It's very, very simple. And our goal in this first year is to get to 70% level of balance. So at minimum, we want to be at 70% or more. Okay, so that would be an overall score of 84 or more. That's what that means. If you have any more questions about that, you can always send us an email or give me a call, or I can always explain it if that's confusing at all. But I think it's pretty straightforward. Now what we want to do for this week, again, in workbook number 2, I want you to again write down 1 through 12. On a new page, put today's date on there. Put today's date on top. Put homework, week number 3 homework, and put 1 through 12. And you're going to do the same thing. Now, you've already got the numbers from last week. And you know what the 12 dimensions are. You've written down those blue points. And this is just your perspective. We're not going too much into intricate detail, just what you think it is right now. All right? So you're going to put down 1 through 12 here. And during this week, you don't need to select a number. During this week, maybe preferably by the end of tomorrow. Before the end of tomorrow, you want to select a number and put it there. So you compare yourself to where you were last week. Okay, for number 1, dimension 1, you maybe Chetna or Devi maybe you gave yourself a 6 or a 7. You say, okay, where am I now? As of right now. So you put the number there, and then you also write a simple sentence. You just write a simple sentence from your point of view, what you think needs to be done to increase that number. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of help with this. So, to strengthen each dimension in life, these are some general ideas. The specifics are going to be up to you, and we'll be giving actually much more detailed guidance in this as we move along. We're just getting the process started. I don't want to overwhelm everyone too much with too much information. We're just starting it slowly, right? I want you to keep the following in mind. Just listen to it for now, and this is recorded so you can refer to it later. This is a general guidance of how to strengthen each dimension in your life, and consider these steps. For career, what's the general guidance for that? Pursue opportunities for growth and skill development. That's a general idea. What kind of growth is possible? What kind of additional skills can I actually engage in? That's a general guidance. Now, if you agree with that, or if you think you need to do that, then you can write inside. You can actually put these same statements if you want, and then write the specifics. Okay, how do I go about doing it? So we'll be providing guidance later on this more specifics about how to do this, right? But right now, just get a bird's eye view of it and see, okay, yeah, I think I need to develop my skills better, whatever it is. That's for career. Finances, very easy to understand. Create a budget and save consistently. How many of us are actually even creating a budget? If you're not creating a budget, if you think the finances are out of whack, unnecessary money is being spent in different places, start creating a budget. So let's say someone may have given themselves a 2 or a 3. Finances are really up in the air, even though money is coming in, we can't figure out where things are going. So you got to create a budget, right? Now, how to do that, we'll be giving that information also later on. But right now, you can write down. If you haven't created a budget, start creating one. And to have a savings plan. General, very simple things which we already know, but we don't do them usually. That's the problem. Okay, number 3, physical health. Exercise regularly and eat a balanced diet. And remember, based on medical advice and stipulation, you should proceed carefully with this. We all know that we have to have some kind of movement and exercise in life. We have to find out for ourselves what that is. And if we need help with that, we'll be providing general guidance, but specifically check with your medical providers or other specialists or whoever you're consulting with regarding physical health, right? But whatever number you may have given, what needs to be done to increase that between now and our next session, right? So implement even one idea. These are general guidelines. Number 3, practice self-care and seek support when needed, right? So practicing self-care, one example of that would be, for example, taking one's medications on time. If somebody's taking medication, to take them as prescribed on time, etc. That's one example. Another example would be to intersect with other areas, having recreational time, going for walks outside, whatever it might be. That's part of the mental health, to figure out what that is, for oneself, and to see where one is. You're looking at it yourself. This is part of our total personal responsibility theme. Okay. Number 5, foster open communication and spend quality time, which all family members should be doing. Open communication is great. If you feel that that's already at a very high level, you may have given yourself at a good higher number, but if there's a problem somewhere, no, there's like a 6 or a 7, you select the right number. Remember, you can always put like 5.5, 5.6, you can put the point in there, to even be more accurate the way you think. This is your perspective on this. And if you're not sure about this, if you're confused about it, send me information, send me your specific questions, and I will try to provide the right guidance of how to kind of go through some of this stuff. Right? Number 6, social life. Engage in activities with friends and join clubs or organizations. It's up to you. Some people say, yeah, that works for me. Some people say it may not work. Some level of socialization is good to have, is needed to have. How much are you okay with it internally? To each his own. Personal development, setting goals and invest time in learning new skills. This is personal development, right? New skills. So for example, if Sachin here is developing PowerPoints and doing all these things, what's my next step? What is something new which I don't know? So can I learn that, and how is that going to help me? That's personal development in many areas. More research. Everybody's life is different. They have to figure out for yourself what that looks like. And remember, this is not an instantaneous thing. This is why this is a homework assignment. You got to take some time throughout the week and look at this stuff and say, okay, where am I with all this? Right? And then select the right number. If you have specific questions, ask them. We are going to send much more guidance on how to develop these areas as we move along. Right now, we're just starting the tracking process, so please remember. There's a lot to do in this. This is just the very beginning of the process. Okay, number 8 is spiritual life. Depending on you. I had somebody say to me recently, I don't have a spiritual life. I had somebody say that to me recently. I said, okay, you may not have a spiritual life or a religious life, but then if you actually ask yourself the questions about where did I come from? Does God exist? What is the purpose of my life? Eventually somebody has some kind of a spiritual inclination, so you kind of have to probe into it and find out what that is for yourself. So look at that, explore beliefs, and potentially if you're involved in any religious tradition or meditation or any spiritual activity, where are we with that? Are you at a 10 with that, or at a 9, 8, 10 is kind of rare. 10 would be enlightenment, maybe, depending on how you think about it, right? So that's spiritual life. But the point here is to explore your beliefs. Now, it depends how you define this. Somebody might say that I want to be completely open to explore spirituality, and if I reach that openness, that's a 10 for me. Okay, that's up to you. It depends how you are defining it. And there's many ways of defining it, and we'll be providing more about that later on. So these are your beliefs. It's an exploration. And then somebody might say, no, I'm already pretty set in a religious modality. I want to maintain that. I don't want to fall back from that. We can look at it that way. It's up to you. That's number 8. Number 9, recreation and leisure. Make time for hobbies and interests. General guidance. Hobbies are good. All kinds of things that are not part of our career, not part of our daily routine. Something totally different. Always good to have something like that. What does it do? Fosters neuroplasticity, fosters a new way of looking at things. And it gives us a lot of leisure, gives us a lot of happiness. Getting out of just usual ruts and routines is also very, very useful for everybody. Okay, that's number 9. Number 10, environment. create a comfortable, organized living space contributing to your community's well-being. So environment meaning what? This has many meanings. To be clear, your work environment, your house environment, your kitchen environment, your bathroom environment, the home environment overall. That's the first level. Your car environment. Some people's car is like a trash can. You know, they say, I can't, sit in this car. There's too much junk all over the place. Get it cleaned up. Get the environment where you want it to be, right? So there's immediate environments. And then if there's a way to participate in some community activities and those kinds of things, that can be very, very useful also, right? But to get yourself in the right environment is very important because it's your environment. Maybe it's your work environment. Maybe it's, some kind of a community club or something like that you're part of, and you're trying to reorganize some things there, wherever. Just look at environment in general. It's about creating a comfortable, organized living space. Organization is the key in this. And so when you walk into your home, as an example, you should feel, oh, thank God, you should feel very good about being in the home, rather than, oh my God, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to, and just clutter and junk all over the place. That can cause a lot of internal energy imbalance. So that is environment. Number 11 is contribution to society, volunteerism and donations, and doing some volunteer activity, something that is not just based on the me, for others, doing something for others in any purview of life. That is contribution to society. And number 12 is reflecting on the long-term vision and creating a plan to achieve them. So what does that mean? I mean, people don't do that usually. Like you say, wait, what's my bigger goal in life, big goals? But it's good to take some time. Maybe you could do it in a small group, and we can have some exercises in Angel Wing specifically for this, and we will have that. But you can do it just now, as of today. Just spend some time this week and ask yourself, what is my long-term vision? What do I even have a long-term vision? I'm at this particular age. What do I want 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, in old age? Not that everything is mapped up, but there's a vision. So it's a reflecting on long-term vision. Some people have a very clear vision of where they're headed. And that would be like an 8, 9, or a 10, like a high number would be given over there. But some people say, I have no clue like what's going to even happen, tomorrow. I mean, just forget about long-term vision. Life is things are all up in the air. That would be like a 1 or a 1.5 or something like that. Right? So that's life vision. And creating a plan. So we'll get into all that later on. But right now, all you're doing is writing the number and then writing one sentence for each of these as a homework to increase that number a little bit. That's all. You're not trying to increase that to a 10 in one shot. You're just trying to nudge it a little bit further and to not let it go down. So if Sachin gave himself a 5.5 in number 3, physical health, he says Sachin doesn't want to decrease that to a 5, that I'm going to the gym and doing this and doing that. But during this week, I'm just neglecting my health. That'll go down further. I'll know that I didn't do what I need to do. All right. So that's easy to understand. All right. And here's just a couple more points here. How to increase and sustain balance in all 12 areas. Just general guidance is here. Very general guidance. Setting goals and priorities. Practicing self-care, building positive relationships, managing time effectively, learning to grow. There's a lot of these kinds of general guidance that is available for us, pretty easy to understand. All right, so we've gone through some of that stuff already. Now what we want to do, we want to talk about quantum principle number 3. So there's 2 places to write this down. In workbook 1, put today's date on a new page and put quantum principle number 3, awareness of memory. And also, you're going to take your 3x5 card and put in there QTP principle number 3, which is the quantum transformation principle number 3, and on one side and on top of the card, write down awareness of memory. And once you do that, just raise your hand because there's 5 points to write down for this in your workbook. And then you'll be writing one of those on the card. I'll tell you what to do in just a second. So write this down first. On top, this is your workbook number 1. Remember, workbook number 2 is only for the 12 dimensions. It's only for that. Nothing else is to be written in there other than material about 12 dimensions. Workbook number 1 are all these other exercises. All right. Awareness of memory, number 3. So if you're ready to go, here we go. Okay. Okay, if you're ready to go, Chetna, if you're ready to go. All right, good. So what I'd like you to do now in your workbook number 1, there are 5 approaches to a deeper comprehension of this concept of memory. All right, so you can just put there 5 approaches to memory awareness, make that brief a little bit. I'll change it in the slide later on. And write these 5 points down, please. Take your time with it. This is our 3rd principle. Every week we have a new principle for transformation. This is about memory. We all have memories, right? So what is memory all about? That's what this is. You don't need to think about it too much. Just simply write it down. Take your time with it. And the words that are in purple, do underline them. And if you have any highlighters or markers, you can certainly put some colors around that if you want. No problem. That would be good. Remember, writing out these sentences is very good because it's a whole brain activity. It focuses our energy. People have forgotten writing these days, so writing is a special meditation now. People are typing and talking and all the other things. So it's good to write. It's good also for the elderly to keep their synapses going. As people are getting older, the more active the brain becomes, and writing and things like that is good. After you're done, take your time. You can please put your hand up or wave your hand or whatever, So all of these points you're writing down, we will be coming back to them throughout the year, throughout this, next 3 months. And as we move along, it will all intersect within us as we move towards personal balance. So you'll see how all of these ideas about memory are relevant, but this is a QTP principle. It's awareness of memory. So your first step in awareness of memory is to write down these 5 points. We can write down hundreds of such points, but we're writing down just 5 right now. Good. So I think Sri Devi is done. Chetna ji, if you're done, just let me know. Good. Okay, you're done too. Okay, very quickly, I'm going to go through these. Just one moment here. Okay, one moment here. All right. So memory is the ability to store and retrieve information in your brain. Yes, we know that. Do we want good memory? Yes. What's needed for that? Of course, a healthy brain, etc. Goes back to our energy idea, core energy. Our energy is used to retrieve information and to store information, right? So the healthier our mind, the more balanced we are in the 12 areas, and the higher our overall score. 120 is the highest possible score. The more that score increases, the better our memory is going to be, the better our overall experience of life will be. All right, that's the first point. Now, the second one, there are different types of memories, including short-term memory, which lasts for a few seconds to a minute, and long-term memory, which can last for years. So just to understand what is memory, we have short-term memory. It's needed at times, certainly. We need that. And then there's long-term memory also. We know about these. There's nothing new in that. Again, to keep our memories healthy, regular exercise, good diet, good relationships, the things that we're looking at in the 12 dimensions, it impacts the retrieval process, the storage process. It helps us with memories quite a bit. Okay. And then the third point here, memory can be improved through techniques such as repetition and association, where you can connect new information to things you already know, which is what we're doing here. We're kind of doing that already by writing things down, writing down new concepts, tracking material. We are adding repetition and association, like the homework assignments. Some of them are repetitive, to do certain things every week. By repeating, we remember that. So part of this personal transformation program is to remember these ideas, but in an easy, straightforward manner, and by associating them with things that we already know. And in general, this is true for education. It's true for kids and adolescents and others who are trying to gain new knowledge or to do well in school. It's about improving the memory process by repetition and association. Again, we'll be providing later on much more details on how to do all of this. This is just to be aware of what is memory. Fourth point, memories can be influenced by emotions and experiences, and sometimes memories can be distorted or forgotten over time. Hold on just 1 second, please. Hold on 1 second. Okay, all right, I'm back here. Fourth point, memories can be influenced by emotions and experiences, and sometimes memories can be distorted or forgotten over time. This is a big point, very important point for everybody. Our emotions influence the way we remember things. We may not remember things objectively, and our experiences in life also are connected to our memories. So memories can be influenced by our experiences, and sometimes memories can be distorted. One of the big goals we'll have special modules developed on this later on throughout this year, is really about how to see things as they are. It's called unbiased looking, choiceless awareness. That's a big part of development. In our Sunday dialogues, we talk a lot about that. We always mention that each time. But the fact is, memories can be distorted, and they can even be forgotten, right? Certain things we don't need to remember, but certain things we'd like to remember. So it's interesting. What is memory? So memory awareness. Point number five. Our brains can hold a lot of information, but sometimes we need to use tools like writing things down or taking pictures to help us remember important details. This is a big question for everybody, right? Whether it's kids or adolescents or adults. What are some things we need to know, that we ought to know, and things that we don't really need to worry about too much? So taking pictures, writing things down to help us remember what is important, significance. So for example, if Sachin here wants to study, I don't know, a particular psychological text, and there's a lot of points in there that I want to remember, I got to make some notes, write things down, highlight things, make some, I have to take steps so it becomes part of my memories. I need to decide what I want as part of my memory. So we'll be creating a whole module on this. Right now, we're just simply looking at what is memory and just awareness of it, just to open a little crack into it. And it is a transformative principle. Why is this a transformative principle? Why is this a quantum transformation principle? Awareness of memory. Let's understand that. Awareness of memory. This is the 3 words in red. That is the principle. It's not simply memory, it's awareness of memories. Awareness is meditation, to say, oh, I see. I can see my memories. I can see my events of life. I can see that things that have happened. And from that, there are a lot of guidance is given to us about what we can do in the present, right? So that's what this is about. Now, in front of you, I'd like you to take a blank 3x5 card. If you don't have one, just use your workbook number 1 notebook for now. But you can get this later on. You can just get some of these cards from a Dollar Tree store or something like that. And as you place that card in front of you, what I'd like you to do next is, first of all, actually what I'm going to do is read these off to you, and you're going to select one of these statements and write them down, just one out of the 5. Okay, so I'm going to read this here. Healthy memory exploration. How do we do it? All right, so point number 1, stay present. Focus on the current moment while recalling memories to avoid getting lost in the past. There are 5 ways of exploring memory. Staying in the present, and being able to recall without getting lost. Now, you may not know how to do that yet, but if you would like to do that, that sounds like something you'd like to do, you can write that down in your card. Write only one of these 5. Listen to all of them first, then you can write it down. Point number 2, observe. Observe without judgment. Look at your memories as an impartial observer to prevent strong emotional attachment. Okay, if you want to do that this week, try to do it this week. You can write that down. Again, we'll be giving a lot of information later on, and we'll be going through exercises on exactly how to do this. But if you just, for right now, just to crack it open, if you think that that's something that you'd like to try this week, write that down. Number 3, limit time spent. Set a specific amount of time for reminiscing, to maintain healthy balance between past and present. That's a big one, right? Some people spend hours and hours just thinking about stuff from the past, wasting time. It's absolutely damaging to one's energy, and one gets caught up. Don't do that. Consciously limit the amount of time spent reminiscing. Nothing good will come out of it unless you need to look at something in the past. It's not necessary. It's a balance between the past and the present. It's a very correct way of putting that. Right? To find the balance. If you think that's what you want to work on this week as a QTP principle, write it down. Okay, that's the 3rd point. 4th one, use memory as a tool. Utilize past experiences to learn and grow rather than dwelling on them unnecessarily. If Sachin says, okay, I had some difficulties in my life, but I want to use my memories as a tool. I want to really get into it. I want to really, really use that to build my life in the best possible way. I can use my memories, my own memories, as a tool. And if you feel, those who are participating online, if you feel that that's something you'd like to do, you can write that down. Only write 1, not all 5. Okay. And that's on your 3x5 card. You can also write it. Please also do write down in your workbook number 1. So 2 places to write this down. Okay, and then practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing and meditation to stay grounded when accessing memories. Right, so there's lots of ways of doing that. We have meditation exercises on Monday evenings and Wednesday evenings in Angel Wing. We have that available. We have lots of other online materials available on how to do this. And if you need specific help with that, we can show you how to do that. So engage in mindfulness techniques such as deep breathing and staying grounded when accessing memories. That's the key point. So you can decide, wait a minute, I'm going to decide to think about something from the past. You can? Sure. But when you're doing so, connect it with your breathing. Stay grounded. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't get lost in the memories. So now, having heard all 5, I'd like you to take a couple of minutes here. Select one of these that really jumps at you. Only one. Don't write down all 5. Only one. Write down only one in your notebook. Okay, and you can just the way it's written there. Limit time spent if you want. For example, make an underline, make a colon. write down the sentence in black, and then write it on your 3x5 card. If you don't have one right now, get it later on, write it on there later on. Okay. And what you're gonna do after you've written that down, our request is, for this is part of your homework, is to read what you've written down one time every day before eating a meal. Any meal you decide. Just keep it in your kitchen, keep it by your lunchbox or wherever you're going to eat a meal. You keep that card there. Then you're going to read that. Just read that sentence. You don't have to even think about it too much. Simply read it and then eat your meal. And you do that every day this week, one time. One of these 5. Take your time with it. There's no rush. And once you're ready, just raise your hand. You select it. It's up to you. Keep it real simple. There's nothing complex about it. Try not to complicate these ideas. Keep them as simple as possible. You'll notice that as you read through those, all 5 would probably say, like, jump out of it, but one of them would be like, yeah, I really need to do that. You'll feel it inside. You'll know it inside of yourself. You don't need somebody else to tell you. You'll know it right from inside. That thing that jumps, that really feels strongly, write that down. That's the right one for you. There's no rush in this. And after you're done, you may raise your hand because the baby's ready. Chaitanya is also ready. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Very good. All right, folks. This card you already have, the 3x5 card, the central concept. This week, your homework assignment is to read that just one time a day, not 3 times a day, just once a day. So you can do that with the other 3x5 card. So you have 2 3x5 cards, or actually 3 3x5 cards now, 3x5 cards. Principle number 1, principle number 2, principle number 3, and this one. You have 4 cards actually, right? So you can section them out the way you want. Maybe one for breakfast, one for dinner, put one in the kitchen, put one somewhere. But you can laminate it, and we'll try to create some stuff out of Angel Wing for you also. But some nice ways of kind of putting a nice little brief poster or something like that. We'll try to develop some of those things once we finish the trial run. Be available for you, right? So this central concept is the big idea. This is all for all 7 years. The entire 7-year development that we talked about in session 1, week 1, is all in this. So just read this. Eventually, you'll have it memorized, and it'll stay inside your system. You don't have to even think about it. It'll just be automatically there, and it will stay with you for your whole life. It will be very, very powerful. It will transform from inside, right? So this one, read once daily. So read this one once daily. Then you have, just a quick reminder, you're going to read one of these statements you wrote once daily, right? And then you're going to complete the other exercises inside the workbook. And it's time for money. So take out a couple of dollars or some cash that you may have, $10 or 10 rupees or $1 million check if you want. I don't know, depending on if you're a billionaire, you can put $1 million check in there. Don't send it to Angel Wing. We want you to store it for yourself. And put some cash in there. If you don't have cash, if you have a personal check, you can make a check out to yourself. You can do it that way also. All right? And put it inside there. And make sure you put your name on the envelope. And what you should do is on the left side of the envelope, you should put the dates. Every time you put money in there, put today's date, put last time's date, the week number. I forgot to tell you that last time. Just put the 3 dates down that you put the cash in. This is our 3rd week. This is vitamin M. We have one of our presenters who has written a book on vitamin M, which we'll be talking about later on. It'll be one of our modules. It'll be something very interesting to understand this concept. We'll be presenting it. Please remember, this money that you're putting in there is not to be spent. It's to be stored. It is to be used as a vitamin. So it is a representation of your inner core energy. We'll be talking more about that definitely later on. Okay, and we have our closing video, and then we'll have a Q&A session after this if anybody wants to stay on. So here's our closing video. Never give up. It's a motivational one that we watched last time. And here we go. Okay, that concludes our week number 3 presentation. Thank you for engaging in this trial run. And if you have any questions, this is our Q&A time. If there's any questions or comments or anything that needs further clarification or anything you'd like to say, this is our time for that.
Sachin, I have a request. I don't know whether Chetna also feels it. The background for reading, for writing, that orange with black and all those things, I think the one that you have black background and a white write-up is prominent to read and write. For me, I don't know about what you feel and Chetna feels. You can
No, if you feel it, it's fine. I didn't notice, but that doesn't mean,
because
it
it is difficult to read,
Read.
orange
Yeah.
with black.
Okay, so I can change the color. All right, that's fine. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put some different colors in there and see which one works. So yeah. So because sometimes depending on the screen you had, it might like cause some distortion or something. Okay. I'll change that. Sure, no problem.
So last week's, I don't know what I did. The tolerance one, I didn't. I guess I need to look at the slides. I haven't done that because I didn't put anything in that 3x5 card. I don't know what I was supposed to put.
Right. So yeah. Okay. So let me show you right now. Hold on. Give me just a minute to open that real quick here. Week number 2. Just a second. Just a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do a screen share. Yeah, that's why we're going to do this. So after our presentation, if there's any questions like this. All right, this was the principle. If you have the card with you now, Chetna, you can put this there. Content transformation principle number 2, tolerance. Okay, and on the card, you write down one of these 5. Okay, so understanding differences, open-mindedness, empathy and compassion, avoiding prejudice, and encouraging harmony. So there's 5 points there. And I'll just read each one of these. And if you didn't write it down last time, or maybe I may not have asked you to do it last time, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Yeah, I did not do that. That's right. So I'll make that change in the slide itself. So this needs to be written in the second card. So there's 3 QTP principles so far. In the second card, principle number 2 is tolerance, and you write one of these boxes down. I'm going to just read them quickly. Understanding differences. Tolerance is about accepting and respecting the fact that people can have different opinions, beliefs, and lifestyles. Okay, that's 1. Number 2, open-mindedness. Being tolerant means being open to learning about and understanding the perspectives of others, even if they're different from our own. That's number 2. Number 3, empathy and compassion. Tolerance involves putting ourselves in others' shoes and showing kindness even when we don't agree with them. Number 4, avoiding prejudice. To be tolerant, we should avoid making judgments about people based on stereotypes or biases and instead get to know them as individuals. And number 5, encouraging harmony. Tolerance promotes peace and unity by encouraging us to participate and celebrate the diversity within our communities. So see which one jumps out at you and write that one down on the second card. On the card for tolerance. And then write that also in your workbook for last week. So the workbook you have will be a running tally. So you'll be able to go back to it again and again and again as time goes on. And it'll be in your own handwriting. So pick one of those. Yes, thank you for all the feedback. That's how we're going to make this program really, really, top notch. Just keep giving me feedback, so I'll keep making changes as I need to make them. Please remember to write only one of the 5. And you have the slides for all this, so you can always write more stuff down in your notebook anytime you want. No problem. It's up to you. But something that you're going to apply, right? So remember, what was in week 1, week 2, week 3? Yeah, for week 3, you want to apply week 3, but then you can always go back to week number 2 and say, okay, I want to apply this also. And we'll show how to kind of combine some of these ideas together as we move along. One step at a time. And then we'll put a little bit of a rating on a scale of 0 to 10, how well that was done. We'll do all that later on. It's easy stuff to do.
The other suggestion I have, I don't know the clear, for that is, the 12 dimensions.
Yeah.
Maybe have like a, I don't know, instead of writing these in the second workbook every week, you could do that. I'm not saying that, but like maybe have like a bird's eye view in a, I don't know, in a whiteboard or something like that, where you can do week 1, week 2, week 3, and like see the changes occurring in one glance, rather than
right. So there's a couple of ways of going about doing that. one way to do that is that we could provide, I mean, I can create a sheet, like an Excel. I can create a good sheet for that and then send it to people by email, and then they can print it out, but they would have to print it out. That's one way to do it, and I am going to do that. But there's another way that can be done. You can actually take one blank page, maybe the very first when we do this, but you can do it, just take a blank page, from where you are in workbook number 2, and just make a grid. So all you're doing is you're putting, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like maybe put 4 weeks on top, week 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the left put 1 through 12, and just make a grid.
Yeah.
You can make just a physical grid on the sheet of paper, just put the numbers in there, and then put the total at the bottom. So what I'll do next time, I will show a procedure of how to do that.
Also, like or like an Excel sheet, where you enter in.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you can
right. So because there's some people who don't use computers and all that, still, believe it or
No,
not.
I know. It's both ways. That's I'm
Both
not
ways.
saying.
So there's 3 things I'll do. I'll create an Excel sheet for the 12 dimensions. I'll also create like a printable sheet that somebody could print out and then keep inside like a folded sheet. And then the third thing I'll do is just show how to make a physical grid to write it out. So I'll do all 3 of those, and I'll get that done before next week.
So the written sheet can even be laminated with like dry erase, so people can fill it up and then kind of look at it.
Yes, that's correct. But remember, they do need to have a written tracking of where they were. So
No, that's why it's like every week they want to see where they were and how they are, and every week what the improvement is, the total is, or even individually.
So that's
why you want bird's eye view of 4 weeks or even 12 weeks actually.
Right, exactly. Well, yes. So okay. So there's 4 things here. One is to create an Excel spreadsheet, so people can easily go into Express or Google Sheets. I mean, I think 90% of the people know how to use Google Sheets.
No, I meant one or the other. I mean, I'm not so good with technology, but I just know that it's one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, there's a couple of things. Google Sheets is one way to do it. I'll also create a printable one that they can print out and do that way. That's number 2. Number 3 is to create a simple grid, a handwritten grid, if somebody wants to do that. And the 4th one is like on a dry erase board, how to create that just between the last week and this week. Just 2 numbers, essentially, like where was I last week? Where was I this week? Have a tablet and do it that way. So I'll create all 4 of those this weekend. Good feedback. Very good. Yes.
Yeah, even the dry erase could be for 4 weeks too, because one week is not enough.
Yes, it depends on the size of that thing. Like if it's about this big, I don't know, about something like this, you can do like 4 weeks on there, or even make 12 lines. You can do all 12 dimensions, but multiple weeks. So
it's good to have like the vision board we have, the big one to put on the wall.
So exactly. So that would be And so these are all materials that we will eventually provide in different ways, but some people like to use technology, some people like to do it by hand. So, but it's good to have something visual. I agree with you. To have something visual to say, we can put on, literally, like you can stick on your refrigerator and like as a magnet.
On the wall or something.
Yeah, on the wall or something like that. Yeah, exactly, absolutely. And we can probably make something like that, or find a procedure, introduce a procedure to people of how to create something like that. Pretty easy. Any other thoughts? Any other comments? Go ahead, Devi.
This is just as an audience. I'm talking after here. So some week maybe I'm at a good, my thing may be high, the other week may be low. So many we get discouraged because we are going down. So how do you in between incorporate people to have motivation?
Okay, that's a great question, right? So one of the things I'm going to start doing this week is just on that point, that every day you'll be getting a little brief text message reminder of some of those things, how to stay on track. I mean, that's one small reminder, some inspirational quotes and things like that. But what you're asking is a much more intricate question. It's like, how do I, maintain that number? If I give myself a 5.5 for physical health, and if I find myself slipping down, what do I need to do to stay motivated? So this is a good question. So this question will go in our FAQs, and it will also be presented, like how to stay there, right? There's many answers to that. There's a whole range of answers. What I will do is create a one-page, stay motivated guideline of what to do if you feel yourself slipping back, what to do right away. It's like in the moment. So I'll create that. I'll send it to Chetna and to you. Take a look at it and see what you feel. Because we want to have guidance that is relatively straightforward rather than like a 1 hour talk on something like that. So something that is directly applicable. That okay, I'm feeling myself, bumping away from where I am. What do I need? Let's get up and get going. So I have to see that, okay, well, Sachin didn't go for exercise yesterday, and Sachin thinks, but I can skip it today also. What different? That my thinking is a toxic thing, wrong thinking. I detect that. I have ignore that thinking because it's not the right thinking. I'm aware of that, and just do it right there. Just go there and start exercising. So things like that. Things that I know to be right, but if I'm not doing them, I have to catch myself and immediately apply. And if I find myself not applying it immediately, again, eventually I have to get to that point where I am applying it, right? So that's where those reminders, that reading that card daily, these things will enhance that motivation. But then I will put 5 points to keep in mind. And we'll create like a small card out of that, a small lamination or something, create a PowerPoint slide out of it. What to do to stay motivated. So I have a bunch of thoughts about it, but good question. Good question. Definitely. And something that's applicable right away. It doesn't have to be like, in fact, it cannot be anything too complicated. It has to be very simple. That, okay, I'm feeling, I can see myself getting out of this balance, out of where I should be. I need to get back on there immediately. And I don't delay. I don't bring in any delay.
And not to dwell on it and bring your energy low. It's okay sometimes to be slacking, but not to stress so much that you bring your energy low.
Exactly. And see, this is what self-awareness and personal responsibility is, right? This program is to encourage each individual, to raise the awareness and to apply. Because Chetna, me, or anybody else, we cannot apply for you. You will have to apply for yourself. Right?
Oh, it's fantastic. I cannot thank you guys enough. I wish I had this earlier in my life, but now also.
No, thank you so much. We're just getting started with this. We wanted to do this for a long time.
Sachin and Chetna, I don't know how to write. Forgot. And look at the handwriting. I can't read myself what I have written. Can you imagine?
It's fine. You do have the option, and I don't know that you want to do this or not, but some people may want to. If they don't want to use a physical workbook, they can actually just create a Word document and put everything in there. I mean, so that's also an option. You don't have to have a workbook if you don't want to use it, but people are encouraging.
No, it's good so that you can actually, when you write it, it becomes more fixed in your mind.
Yes, it's better. It's much. That's what
Focus also.
Insisting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I have to get back to writing. This is something that
there's a hand brain coordination. It actually helps you in clarity and everything also.
Right,
and the more you do it, it's actually good for you in memory. Yeah.
Yes.
I know even I'm lost, but I like the writing part.
Any other comments? Yes.
But the only thing, like I said, I mean, I think the second and third week was good. But you can't rush it. You have to take, because nobody's used to writing now, so it's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while. Exactly. It's going to take a little while, right? Exactly. Even to write simple sentences, if you don't write them.
Yes, you don't write now anything.
And you know what? Maybe we should have, when you are having with a bigger audience, we should have a dry run for 1 month and see their input after 1 month.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe a forum that you have so that we can give our inputs and all.
Yes. So for that,
I have to go. So you guys can continue if you want, but I will get in touch with you.
Yeah.
I will see you next week actually. So.
Okay. Thank you, Chetna.
Thank you.
See you when you get back. Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
We have a good trip, Chetna, back. Okay.
I'll see you back. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
So, Deviji, what we're doing at the end of each session, have a Q&A time, a forum like that. And then we'll have a monthly time separate from these sessions, for everybody to get together and to brainstorm things out and to give feedback and ask questions and whatever, or make comments, whatever, so that way I'll get to hear from everybody in more detail.
Maybe you can put a forum in that so that people can write. So what happens is immediately things will not come into our head. What questions to ask. So maybe a question answer form you introduce so that you can next class we can write it down.
Right. So right. So to actually have a form ready. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. A good idea. Good idea. Because remember, we're starting this in August. So our target date is the first Tuesday. I think it's August 1st is the first Tuesday. Let me check the calendar here. I'll tell you right now.
I want to hear Sachin.
You'll be in India. You're going to India?
I'm going to India on June 1st, coming back in July, and then again I'm going to Connecticut and all that.
But that's fine. I mean, that's fine. But we'll have it recorded. So people who cannot do it live, you can do it still through recordings, and we'll have it even tweaked further. This is just our first absolute run right now, So yeah, so
definitely. Thank you so much.
No. Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll pick it up next time, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, take care.
Okay.
Bye bye.